social media part of this, which is questions submitted by our friends out here. I think about a third of you submitted questions, so we're not going to get to all of them. But there were 5 main themes. We heard environment so far, people asked questions on dollars in politics, healthcare, public-private economic deals, kind of interesting, what I wasn't expecting, and campaign strategy, a little practical stuff people want to get into. So we'll see if we have time for them. Same deal, we'll do 2 minutes each, and Rich, we'll start with you. So the first one we'll do is on Citizens United. I'll try and paraphrase this, which is in light of the Citizens United decision and the effect it's having on outcomes, what plans is your campaign making to react to likely last-minute cash infusions that NAN may have?
Citizens United is an abomination of a Supreme Court decision. For those who aren't familiar, what it did is it said corporations are people and giving money in unrestricted, unlimited amounts is freedom of speech. The problem is now the Republicans have all this money, and so we need to deal with the reality. I hope when I get to Washington, one of my first actions will be to co-sponsor an amendment to override that. Going forward in the reality of this current election, you need to have great financial fundraising, and my team has done well. The last filing, we had raised as much as any other candidate. We've got all that money from this district, but you do have to broaden out, and this election is turning very interesting because it's never been physician versus physician. It's never happened in this country. I didn't plan it that way, it just happened. I did plan to go against Dan Hayworth, and as physicians, it just worked out that way. But the interesting thing there is because the Affordable Care Act and Medicare are going to be top issues in this campaign, you need to be able to go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with her. And I can tell you that some very large organizations like the AMA, the American College of Physicians, the American College of Cardiology, the American Heart Association, and there are dozens of other groups out there, all with PACs, are very interested in this, and they side with the Democrats on this, fortunately. And I think I can go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with her and use the money that comes out of these PACs to counter her. Now, I wish that it came down to small donors. My campaign so far in the primary has been from small donors, many of you from this room. But going forth in the general election, you got to play the game, you got to fight hard, you got to do what's necessary to win. I will do that, and I think we will get the money from the large PACs that support Democratic causes.
Well, Citizens United is the worst Supreme Court decision in my lifetime. I mean, it is a terrible decision, and it's just wrong in the law, and it's just wrong as a matter of policy. We've got to change it, but that is going to be a long-term fight, and they better wake us all up on getting the right people on the Supreme Court, and that means getting turning out in this election, making sure this president gets reelected, because there's a lot at stake, folks. And when you see the court getting this radical and this conservative, it is not a good sign, and so that's number one. Number two, you may need an amendment to the United States Constitution. That's going to take a long time. But what we really need is we need a system of citizen-funded campaigns in this country so that money isn't what allows people to run for office. I mean, right now, how many of you could take 6 months off from your job or a year off from your job and run for office? I mean, how many of you could put a ton of your own money into a campaign? How many of you have friends who can raise $1 million, $2 million? That's what's necessary now to do what these guys are doing, what I'm doing, and that's wrong. That's just wrong. It ought to be about our ideas. It ought to be about our record of service. It ought to be about what's in our heart, what we want to do for you. But look, we are dealing with a system where we are up against somebody who is who's a very prodigious fundraiser, who has a lot of support from this district, but also from all around the country. And I cannot look you in the eye and say that you should vote for me in this primary if I can't also look you in the eye and say I can go toe-to-toe with this Republican, I can raise as much money as she's going to raise, I can raise more money than she's going to raise, and we are going to win on every level of this campaign. We are going to have the resources, we are going to have the organizational capability. That's why labor is so important. That's why I'm so proud that I have 10 unions endorsing my campaign, including the largest unions in the Hudson Valley. Because if we don't get working men and women out there right now, we are going to lose. And so we've got to organize better, we've got to work harder, but we also have to raise the funds, and I'm doing that. And with your help, we can win this election. Thanks.
So I'm the third number fundraiser here, and I'm taking in $10, $20, $50, whatever I can get from the bottom of the 99% and from many others to make sure that I can represent this district. I come from a very different background. I came to Wappingers Falls and I became the first, because I'm a non-native, because I moved across the river, it was very far away, but I'm the first non-native mayor of Wappingers Falls in 150 years probably, and I've represented my community well, and I've done it on a $40,000 a year salary because that is the median income of the second poorest municipality in Dutchess County. And I've done it because I wanted to be representative. I believe that the word representative has meaning to it, and that when our forefathers put this system into place, that it meant that we were going to send somebody from our district who represents this district. I found myself at odds going down to ask the 1% if I can represent the 99% back here at home, because if you take all the contributions by zip code in this district, add them up, it's not enough money to fight Nan Hayworth. So you have got to raise money from outside this district, and I've been doing very well, I think, at bringing that money back in. I think that whoever wins this primary will be able to raise a ton of money, because Nan Hayworth has a target on her back. There's a reason there's 5 people in this primary. Because we know that this primary, June 26th, is the election. You have the power to select the next congressman, because there's only men in this race, for this district. And I think we can do it, and I would like to see somebody who comes from the grassroots level, who's truly representative of the people, and have this not be about capitulating to a Republican appointment to the Supreme Court that said that Citizens United could be a person, that corporations could be people, and donate to campaigns, and change the game for everybody here in the United States of America.